Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. We are up against the clock. So, multiple clocks. So we shan't dilly-dally. Welcome or welcome back. Did I already say that? I don't remember. Here's the thing. Do y'all remember A Million Lives or A Million Lives book festival convention that I talked about, that many people were talking about? Was it a month ago? 2 months ago? Time is made up, but it was recently that there was a bookish convention that was held in Baltimore that people were told was going to be all of these things. They got there and it was a whole lot of nothing. I don't remember what I said, everything I said in that video, but I've seen more people talking about like fantasy balls and things that are being organized and put together are often not by people who have experience event planning, so you should be cautious. Well, what does that have to do with today's video? Another bookish convention that I hadn't heard of. Actually, there's two, but the main one we're gonna focus on is Romancecon.
I just want to say up front that I apologize if things are maybe out of order. I'm trying to go as chronological as possible, but there's been a lot that has unfolded over the last week, and I am a human. And although I am chronically online, I'm not on top of every single thing, so I try to stay in as order as possible, but if it's out of order, like, just forgive me. Okay, thank you.
I think that's what it's called. I just want to call it rom-com, but it's Romancecon. So September. It's going to be September 5th and 6th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And of course they had like, I think over 200 authors who are going to be there. Some of a big name was Julie Soto. Who's Julie Soto? The author of some other contemporary romances, but also Rose and Chains. I know. Jessica, you said that last video. I know it was going to be the last video. I'm not specifically talking about the fics, but they are involved in this. So anyway, the TLDR is Rose and Chains used to be a fan fiction that has the serial numbers filed off and is now a traditionally published book that is out. It was Harry Potter fan fiction. The publishers have been marketing it as such, and so there has been a lot of conversation, a lot of angry people justifiably online talking about this. So now Julie Soto is one of the featured like big name authors who's going to this event. So people who are upset and were, I want to say tweeting, but I'm on threads, threading, messaging, tagging Romancecon to address this. And so at first they hadn't said anything, and so people were starting to post that maybe they didn't want to go, authors considering pulling out. And so that started happening. I saw multiple authors on threads posting that they were no longer going to Romancecon because they didn't want to support an event that was having Julie Soto as a hosted author. Also, more things came out that Romancecon was put on by the person, her name is, I'll put it in here because I can't remember, I think her name's Melissa. She also runs another convention that's called Enchanticon that's happening soon. Used to be called LeakyCon from Leaky Cauldron from Harry Potter. And that convention, although the name has been changed to Enchanticon, so it's supposed to be magical, still has about 5 events that are Harry Potter themed. So I think there's a HP fanfic writing event, something else that it's in the titles, like they have words from Harry Potter in the titles, and they're like Harry Potter themed events that are happening at the con.
Okay, up first we have Dumbledore's Army of Friends. Speed date your next BFF. Translating Harry Potter around the world. Potterless live. And lastly, Hogshead Hootenanny. So I did go on the website today, Monday the 21st, and look through all the events, and I didn't see any of the name changes. It looks like they have changed most of the names, except I did see this Hal Wolfstar 1 Blueprints for Fandom Culture. That is a popular HP ship. But that was all that I saw. So I was just trying to be fair that it seems like they are updating things.
Then people also found that she also is the webmaster for the website. Is it the Leaky Cauldron? Is that the website? Again, anything I can't remember, I'll just have to put on the screen to correct myself. And so they were like, this person is still deeply tied into the IP because, to go back, the founder, I think Melissa, posted I started to hear saying that they, they used to be this thing, they changed, and they do not, and they have a statement on their website, and they do not support JK's stance, and they're very inclusive space.
Okay, this was their post at first. We've seen a few posts about our company and events, and we want to take a moment to address that directly. Yes, the small business made up of 10 whole people that runs our event is called Mischief Management, which was originally a slight nod to Harry Potter, but was only chosen because it is an accurate descriptor of what we do: create and manage mischief and joy. Our CEO wrote a book about the HP fandom that was published in 2008. In 2009, we produced what became the largest HP-themed fan convention. That's our history, and we won't pretend it's not, but it's not our present. When J.K. Rowling started spouting horrifically transphobic diatribes 5 years ago, we had to reevaluate where we stood and how to go forward. Here's what we've done recently. We chose to end our Potter-themed event. We built something new that aligns more closely with our morals, a space rooted in inclusivity, celebration, and fantasy fandoms of all kinds. We also partner with a local trans-led organization as our official nonprofit partner. We keep a public statement on our website making it clear we are in strict opposition with J.K. Rowling's harmful rhetoric. She does not profit from us in any way, and for the record, she's made it quite clear in several ways that she's not our biggest fan either. Romancecon is home to a vibrant, affirming community. Many of our attending authors are queer. That wasn't a coincidence. It was intentional. Our queer and trans team members are deeply involved in planning every single event, including in the discussion of the nuances and complexities that arise during a season. When we don't have the lived experience to address a certain topic, we reach out to those who do for their opinions and advice. We continue to listen, to learn, and to evolve year after year. We're not perfect and would never pretend to be, but we care deeply, we show up, and we're always working to do better because that's what our community deserves. We understand that sometimes opinions will differ on the correct actions to take in every situation, but we always promise to do our best. I wanted to add this screenshot here because in their statement, they said that they have a statement on their website about how they don't support J.K. Rowling. This person said, just going to put this info out there. The Romancecon is planned by a company named after HP, Mischief Managed. They will definitely be platforming Rose and Chains. And this is their statement. Said it's Mischief Management associated with J.K. Rowling. Mischief Management is not licensed, endorsed, sanctioned, or in any other way supported directly or indirectly by Warner Brothers Entertainment, the Harry Potter book publishers, or J.K. Rowling and her representatives. So while I guess legally that says that you're not associated with her and like she doesn't get paid, but that's not necessarily saying that you don't support her views. So
but people were like, your company name is still Mischief Managed. All of these years that she's been terrible, because unfortunately it's been a long time now, you still haven't changed your name. You still have these Harry Potter themed events going on at your event, even though you changed that event's name. So all of that started coming out.
So then the next day they posted this, that Romancecon and Julie Soto have mutually agreed that she will no longer attend Romancecon 2025. I know that I'm going to mention it, but I forgot to put that in here. So they posted this the day after they posted the previous thread that I read.
And so more authors started dropping, because I know usually authors pay to go to these events, and I would assume it's as a loss, because now that I think about it, I did see lots of conversations, because of course I understand why people don't want to be affiliated, don't want to go to this event. But some people were posting, smaller authors, some people were posting, readers saying, of course, expressing disappointment that other authors who are going haven't spoken up yet or are not pulling out of the event. And then some people were like, we made a financial investment, they've bought hotels, flights to go here, and it's not as easy for them to just pull out and consider losing all of this money. And then of course, some people are like, well, is it money or your morals, your ethics? So I'm assuming that if you're an author and you were going to this event and now you're pulling out, that you were just losing that money. I don't know if they can write it off or something like that. So at this point, today is Monday, July 21st. I thought that, or I waited, because this kept unfolding. Every day there was something new. So as of today, when I just went on Threads, it says that over 175 authors have pulled out of Romancecon. So I think someone said, because I don't have the official number, that's 75% of the authors that were going, and readers, people who were going, keep messaging or tweeting at Romancecon about refunds, but a lot of people said that when you bought your ticket, it was stated that it's non-refundable, and Romancecon has not made any kind of statement about canceling the event or refunding people's tickets. Of course, some people are like, they probably don't have the money to do that. So now, here we are on Monday. Although I'll have to backtrack a little bit, but here we are on Monday, and there's been a recent update because apparently now Mischief Managed is no longer managing the event and it's going to be managed by somebody else. Mess. But again, I'm remembering things out of order. So 4 days ago, after all these conversations about Mischief Managed being the webmaster of the Leaky Cauldron website, all of these things that are still very much HP related, after they said that we, distance ourselves from that, we do not, platform her or support her views, they put out a statement. And it's not good. So it says, today we sent the following email to our attending authors and wanted to share it to our audience as well. So I will read it for you. In case you have not yet seen, Romancecon and Julie Soto mutually agreed that she will not appear at this year's event. This was announced on the Romancecon social media accounts on Tuesday and then updated on the Romancecon website on Wednesday. Also, for the past several weeks, we have been finalizing a partnership with a summer camp for trans youth that is very close to our team, located in a red state. It has only not yet been announced because the team there is understandably busy at this time of year. With regards to the Enchanticon, our sister FantasyCon, the Harry Potter related content at that event comes specifically at the request of our trans and non-binary community members. Since J.K. Rowling showed her true colors online and we subsequently ended LeakyCon, we received a significant amount of feedback from these community members fearing that their last safe space to discuss Harry Potter would be disappearing. The primary goal of all our events, including Romancecon, is to provide fans with a safe and welcoming space to engage in fandom, a goal that is especially critical for fandoms that are lacking in safe space online. In the case of Harry Potter, these safe spaces have disappeared intentionally for the sake of reducing the online footprint and by extension power of the author who causes so much material harm. While some segments of the former fandom community feel that this should extend to people's internal experiences and are well within their right to distance themselves from any discussions with the fandom, not all feel this way. There is no harm committed when privately enjoying a story that has been foundational. Furthermore, for many trans fans who attended LeakyCon and plan to attend Enchanticon, the process of continuing to discuss Harry Potter is transformational. It includes mourning, catharsis, and reclamation of our own histories. The majority of the programs being referred to online were submitted and are being run by queer and trans people themselves. Nevertheless, in promoting these parts of the event, our team has been attentive to the line between reassuring our existing community that they are not being rejected and limiting the exposure the franchise gets outside of the rooms where the conversations will be happening. And all of this, our primary goal is to give trans and non-binary people who still have feelings about Harry Potter a safe space to talk about them. While we welcome criticism of us and our event, we take the protection of our panelists and staff very seriously, but will not tolerate any harmful comments regarding or towards them. We understand if you continue to be uncomfortable, but we hope that this context will help you feel more assured. So, you can imagine the response to that statement. So we have 2 days before that, 6 days ago, Julie Soto and Romancecon mutually agreed that she would not appear. People are still not happy because of all the other HP related things. 2 days later, they put out this statement.
However, this is an email that was sent to authors and then was shared on Threads, so of course I'm going to read it to you. Hello authors, I wanted to reach out personally to address the current status of Romancecon 2025. This email is going out to any author that has been signed up for our 2025 event since it launched last year, and I hope you will take some time to read it. My hope with this message is to address your immediate concerns. We are actively working on a public apology to acknowledge the harm committed to the trans community. In all honesty, I am the one at fault here. I did not do enough to understand how the romance community compares to our other events communities. I should have better understood that we are a part of your community now, and these two relate. I should have listened and learned enough to be more sensitive to it. I am trying to make amends and dearly hoping to bring you into the conversation. First and foremost, here's a list of steps we are taking right now to make things right. Trans and non-binary authors attending the event will table at the event free of charge. For those who are already committed to the event, we will be in touch in the next 2 weeks to discuss the process for refunds. We are pledging 25% of all attending author table fees to these charities: Trans Lifeline, which is a peer support and crisis hotline for transgender people; Lambda Legal, an organization whose work directly involves combating J.K. Rowling's harmful efforts to strip away trans people's human rights; an LGBTQIA plus group local to the Milwaukee area, yet to be determined. If you have suggestions, we welcome them. If you have recently pulled out of the event and wish to return, we will donate half of your table fee to the above mentioned charities. We are discussing solutions for altering the programming at our fantasy event at Enchanticon with impacted presenters. We do need to talk with them, as in many cases, these are trans and non-binary members of our community that we have known for more than a decade, so we'll take some time. We will, and I will personally, offer listening time and space to any trans or non-binary author who wishes to take us up on it, or any other author whose community has been harmed. We're in the business of fostering joy and providing platforms, literal stages for people to discuss things and express that joy. The most valuable thing we can do for the trans community is give them even more space at Romancecon to do this. We will be working with local organizations and any and all interested authors to accomplish this. We hope to continue to work to evolve into an even safer space for all. We want to recreate the joyous atmosphere of last year's Romancecon and are willing to put in the work to do it. I want to stress that I will make myself available to any author who wishes to discuss the matter with me directly. This is my direct email. Please feel free to use it. At the end of the day, we are always learning and growing. I thank you for whatever grace you have given me so far to fix this, and whatever amount of time and effort you can give to this now, with love. This is not an original thought. I saw this also on Threads, but I just find it weird that they said, I did not do enough to understand how the romance community compares to our other events communities. I should have better understood that we are part of your community now and that these two relate. So that just is, I think, harmful in and of itself, because did you just come into the romance community and throwing a romance convention because you saw how lucrative it was, how popular it is, but not because you care about romance, the genre, the readers, the community? That's a mess. Also, people noted that they stated we are pledging 25% of all attending author tables. So if you've pulled out of the event and you do not go back, none of your money would be going, or at least assuming by the wording of this email, none of your money would be going to these charities. Although they did say if you return, we will donate half of your table fee to the above mentioned charities. But it does not state anything about the authors who pulled out and are not returning. They did address that they are working on solutions for Enchanticon, but I haven't seen anything mentioned on socials about what they plan to do. And the last I saw, apparently 30%, and again, I don't know the total number of authors have pulled out of Enchanticon. And they also said that they were working on another public apology, but when I look at their account, there was the Julie Soto announcement. So there was the thread 1 week ago, the Julie Soto announcement 6 days ago, the email that I read, the statement that I read you 4 days ago, and then I'm about to read you their latest update. So there has been no other apology. Maybe they're still working on it. Yeah.
And that was the last public thing on their threads before 19 hours ago. So yesterday they said, readers, we have heard you. As a result, Mischief Management will no longer be associated with Romancecon. I, Melody, the indie bookseller, with the help of a new management company, am working to bring back authors and make this event as welcoming as it should be. Please give me a few days to update as we take on this huge new undertaking. So that's the latest that I've seen. And I saw someone's account say that, I don't know if it was in a Facebook group or it was an email to the authors, and it said it was just a portion that said there is a significant change ahead. Manissa Anelli and Mischief Management will be stepping down from organizing Romancecon. A new events company based just outside of Milwaukee will be taking over. Mischief Management will be releasing a public statement shortly, and the bookstore, the indie bookstore, who was handling the pre-orders, commented and said, "Hi there, this is not a farce. This is Melody, the indie bookstore, handling Romancecon pre-orders. Romancecon is now under new management, and a Milwaukee-based events team is stepping in to partner with me. We're working hard to keep this space alive for LGBTQ plus authors and the readers who love them. I ask for some grace as we make this transition today." Someone commented under that there's still no peep about Enchanticon because there were other authors who were going to go to Enchanticon and now are also saying they're going to pull out of that. But I think this person said that one's happening in 4 weeks, so that's before Romancecon, and they haven't heard any updates. So I understand authors who can't pull out because you have invested so much money in there, and then you expect that readers are still going to show up, so they may have already done pre-orders, like I said, already booked flights, lodging, and can't just waste that money and still need to go to the event. I also understand the authors who do not want to go to that event because they don't agree with how it's been handled, how the company, even now that they're stepping down, handled it, the contradictions between saying we distance ourselves and while still having all of these Harry Potter related things. I understand the readers who want refunds. And I also still understand the ones who are still going because they've also bought tickets that are non-refundable, also bought flights, hotels, and are upset that a bunch of authors pulled out. Like, I get every side of it. And most of the conversation has been about Romancecon, so I don't know a lot about Enchanticon. I haven't seen a lot of authors speak about that one. If they are pulling out, I really only saw one. So I don't know if they're still I'm assuming they're still handling that one and they just stepped down from Romancecon. I feel like the event, the Bookish and event space is, I've never been to a Bookish convention. I've wanted to, but never been to one, but now I'm like getting a little wary. So I think in my last video I said that it's almost impossible to have nuanced conversations online. And I think that there's a lot of hurt and yeah, at this point, I don't know what the new people managing the Romancecon can do that will make everyone happy. I don't think that's possible. So, I mean, I wish the best of luck to whoever's taking over Romancecon, but yeah, today, as of today, it said that about 175 authors have dropped out. I don't know if this new company taking over will be able to get authors back in. But it sounds like they're still going ahead with it. And again, I don't know about Enchanticon. I'm sure I will have edited a bunch of things in here because I have a ton of screenshots to go through. But that's kind of the rundown. And if you were going or are going, I would love to hear like your thoughts about Romancecon.
Of course, I finished exporting this video and then I saw this update. So if there's any other update after this, I apologize. I can't sit around and wait. I'm sure there's going to be more information. So this was after the tweet that I showed you from Romancecon saying it was going to be under new management. So this is an email saying, hello vendors, partners, and sponsors of Romancecon. My name is Jen Weddick, and I'm the owner of All the Hats Creative, a small creative and events management company outside of Milwaukee. I'm excited to introduce myself as your new point of contact for Romancecon. I'll be handling the last few weeks of event coordination moving forward, so feel free to reach out with any questions or needs. Looking forward to an incredible event together and getting to know everyone. And then here was a statement, which again, I didn't see on Romancecon's thread account, so I don't know if this was just sent out or if this is on Facebook or another platform, but it says, I deeply apologize for harm we caused to the trans community by platforming content related to a harmful IP owner. I recognize that my statements dismissed and marginalized wounds she has inflicted to trans communities, and in doing so added to it. To that aim, I have stepped down from leadership of Romancecon. We have brought in an independent event organizer, Jen Weddick of All Hats Creative, with more than a decade of experience in passionate community-led events, to take this event safely to execution. They will take over all decisions and communications moving forward. Additionally, Romancecon pledges to donate approximately 25% this year's table fees to charities supporting trans rights, which the new event organizer will facilitate. Last year, we had a beautiful and loving experience, and our new lead will be making changes and announcements that move you toward that goal. This has been an important object lesson and impact over intention, and I will spend the next few months refocusing my work on prioritizing the marginalized communities who attend our other events. This includes removing all Harry Potter platforming from Enchanticon, our new sister fantasy con, in coordination with the panelists. I wish Jen success as she puts together a beautiful con. Sincerely, Melissa Anelli, founder. So that's the latest update that I have seen. I checked Enchanticon's specific threads account and I haven't seen anything, but I'm sure that there will be more coming out. I'm sure in 15 minutes there'll be a post. If there's a lot, I'll make a part 2.
Okay, the last thing I'll say is that if you are going to any kind of bookish event, signing, convention, whatever you want to call it, read the fine print. And try to do your research if it's see if it's been put on before, see if people have reviews of their experience about how it went, because unfortunately you kind of have to protect yourself in a lot of these things. You buy a ticket and you most likely aren't going to be able to get a refund. Sometimes credit card companies may let you dispute stuff, but just try to do your due diligence to protect yourself, because everyone throwing an event is not an event planner, or I don't know how previous romance cons work because I hadn't heard of it. So I don't know if it was like a good event last year or how long it's been around. But yeah, maybe just do some research, find out who's hosting it, if you can find anything about the company and what they've done, and then maybe then you can make the best decision after reading the fine print, knowing about the company, knowing about other people's experiences, and decide, like, is this something I'm willing to invest this money in? I think that's about all you can do. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and if you had bought a ticket and are you still going, and what do you think about all of this? Keep it cute and keep it respectful. Hello. That's all for me. So thank you for watching. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.